Thief Saul appears flanked by mongrels. The journey has taken its toll on him. His breath is labored, and sweat is dripping from his bloated face. What jish? Anivia gives a low whistle. Well, I'll be damned. Turns out old Hulrun isn't as crazy as we all thought. There were really demons down here. I should have listened and sent a patrol down here. Damn it. Kenabre's famed prelate, Hulrun Shapok, first gained the trust and admiration of city's people by organizing inquisitions against suspected demon worshippers and witches. Hulrun and his forces of elite witch hunters exposed dozens of cultists and spies, and it is said executed many more under suspicion, but with no real proof. These events started the Third Crusade, widely accepted as the least effective and most self-destructive of the four crusades. Still, Hulrun evoked respect and admiration in the populace as well as fear, and agreed to guide the city as its prelate. Horgur's lip curls in distaste, and he tries to keep his distance from the unconscious mongrels. You said you were in charge of the reconnaissance for the Eagle Watch, Anivia. How could you miss a nest of demons beneath Kenabres? Anivia sighs. Yeah, right. Like, it wasn't enough that I sniffed at every damn shadow in the city. Everybody knows the stories about the demons living beneath the streets of Kenabres. Those tales are as old as the Crusades themselves. I messed up, but you fixed my mistake, so thanks. How's the leg? Anivia winces slightly, but forces a smile. Better than yesterday, worse than the day before. I'm not gonna die, don't worry. This place must be burned with holy fire. The place is overrun with demons, says Lan. But that's not the worst part. Wendwerk, she's been working for the demons all this time, luring the young, strong mongrels into the maze. He nods at the unconscious mongrels. We might still be able to save these ones. They can't get any stupider, that's for sure, but they might be meaner than they were before. Stupider? I'm pretty sure that doesn't exist. Isn't it more stupid, most stupid? I'm not a native speaker, but I'm pretty sure that I learned once that this doesn't exist. But I suppose all teenagers are monsters in their own way. Sal laughs, but it comes out as a rasp. Ah, Lan. We don't waste words on people who don't listen to the tribe. You act the fool, you suffer the consequences. Sal gives a wrecked sigh. Wendwerk. How could she? She deceived Shem and then she left. What's become of Shash? Chin up, Chief. Kids you rescued are safe now. The demons are gone, the traitors been dealt with. All's well that ends well, I say. You need to look after young mongrels. I don't know what they'll be like when they come to, but look after them, Chief. They went through something horrific today. Not everybody is capable of enduring something like that. It will change them. Forever. As long as they can hunt, the rest can wait. Uplander and Ulan, you saved them. Only the gods can salvage their souls, but we are a tribe. We will think of something. And when they are stronger, they can go up to the surface. The time has come. I kind of enjoy reading him. It's time to get out of here. Chief, I think I'm going to lead our visitors to the surface, and I'm going to keep going. Something interesting is happening out there in the world. Maybe it's my chance to do something more useful than skinning cave rats. Saul heaves a sigh. You know, you were never one of us. You always looked up. You think I don't see the things? My life is not for you. You must go. But where? Where is the way out? It's me. But these beasts got down here somehow. Lan searches Hosila's body and shows you some papers and a key. I don't know what these documents are, but I'm sure this key will come in handy. Anivia's eyes quickly skim over the letter, and she passes it to you. Cultist Dispatch. Savomelach. This is my last warning. You need to act discreetly, without attracting any more attention than you already have. People are already talking about the strange disappearances of Kinabre's most righteous men. Keep below ground, nurture your mongrel pets, and wait patiently. The call to battle will soon come, and it will sound louder and clearer than ever down here in the catacombs. No, that was a mistake. Gather your warriors immediately after that, bring them to the surface, and lead them to the Tower of Estorot. This tower will be my final dagger, and I shall plunge it into the guts of Kinabres. Our vicious servant Faxon made the tower his base of operations several months ago, taking command over the Templar forces in Kinabres, while the Grandmaster was distracted by other matters. Faxon has already gathered a stash of weapons, potions, and other useful supplies, which he will gladly share with you if needed. If he behaves himself, you two should combine your forces. If not, just take his stupid little head off his shoulders and take command yourself. Mistress Minako. I sneaky sons of... This is all the information on the cultists in the city. Their meeting places, passwords, their secret hideouts. I think we should show this to whoever's in charge of Kinabres right now. As soon as we get back to the surface, we'll find out what's what. As if anything still exists. I mean, I'm not sure how big this city is, but a demon host with a demon lord just slaughtered a big-ass dragon. Are you even sure that the city still exists, young one? That there is someone in charge that is not demon-friendly? Too much faith. The city's long-established peace, yeah, negligence, and negligence. Yes. Okay. We've survived the battle. That's not bad. It's pretty sure that we would die. What? Doesn't that mean we need to identify... Are you telling me that we need to identify a potion? Can be used by Camellia. Ah. Interesting. Okay. Do we have anything else? No, we can't loot anything. No, okay. We need to grab a couple potions.
Our time has come. Godspeed.
While the survivors wander the dungeons, the battle on the surface rages on. The warriors of Kinabres are trying to defend the Wardstone, but their strength is flagging. Their resistance is valiant, yet it will all be in vain if no one rises up to turn the tide.
Let us press on.
The half-orc before you, wearing armor adorned with Iomede's golden swords, is clearly exhausted. She obviously hasn't gotten much sleep over the last few days. There's soot on her face and fresh blood on her sword. Her hazel eyes are hard and focused, and her firm voice sounds accustomed to giving orders. She sizes you up, surprised, judging whether you are friend or foe, and opens her mouth to ask you something, but freezes when she spots Anevia. Anevia Tirabade is the Eagle Watch's most adept scout. She was among the unlucky ones who ended up with you in the dungeons under Canabres and accompanied you on the long and exhausting journey to the surface.
By the goddess, Nevi, I'd almost lost all hope.
Everything's fine, Beth. I'm here. This here's a new friend. He rounded up those of us who survived the fall and led us up to the surface. Without him, we'd never have made it out. Let me introduce you to my wife, Arabeth Tirabade, head of the Eagle Watch.
Until the army arrives, I'm the temporary warden of Canabres. And you're just in time. As you can see, we're in the middle of a battle. And thank you for getting Anevia out of there.
Where are we?
The Grey Garrison. Until recently, it served as barracks for the Crusaders, but it's now been taken over by cultists.
What is the target of this battle?
When the demons attacked the city, their main target was the Wardstone. I trust I don't have to explain to you what the Wardstone is and how important it is to the Crusaders. We must retake it at any cost, or the fall of Canabres will be the beginning of the end of the Crusades, and with them, the rest of the world.
Mendevian Crusades in 1433. Or in 4433. Erodin defeated a cult dedicated to the demon lord Deskari, making the north of Avistan safe from demonic influence. However, the protection ended with Erodin's death in 4606. So roughly 150 years later, a bit more than that. Well, he got old. The same year, the World Wound was opened by the witch Arelu Vorlesh, working in conjunction with her demonic patron Deskari. Demons poured out and overran the barbarian nation of Sarkores. The World Wound was not large at first, but soon it abruptly expanded, and it kept growing. It came to be seen as a threat to the entire world. The remaining clerics of Arodin and the clerics of his follower Iomede took it upon themselves to defeat the demons and seal the World Wound. Answering their call, thousands of pilgrim crusaders flooded up the river road and into Mendev, the nearest neighboring kingdom of former Sarkores. Thus, the Mendevian Crusades were born.
I see that you had a difficult journey to the surface. You need to rest. But there's a lot riding on this battle. I have no right to command you, but I'm asking you to help us.
I have important information about the location of a cultist den.
Very good. Report to me in full when we get back to the Defender's Heart. It's our temporary headquarters. Right now, the most dangerous cultists are here. The ones occupying the Grey Garrison.
We met some mongrels who live beneath Canabres. This is Lan.
Most people in Canabres think that the children of the First Crusaders are simply a legend. Other people say that the day you emerge on the surface heralds the start of the end of the world. I'm not superstitious, but the situation is apocalyptic, all right. Having a living legend on our side can't hurt.
Come on, living legend? A walking folktale, maybe? I just need to make sure I don't turn into a running joke.
What's the situation in the city?
The city's gone. Most of the defenders, including the dragon Terendelev, fell in the first few hours. The civilians either fled or died in the chaos. The place is overrun with cultists and demons.
Terendelev. The demonic threat united all kinds of creatures in supporting the Crusaders. Among them was a silver dragon named Terendelev, who protected Canabres for many years, aiding the army of Queen Galfrey. So we need to wait for the army of Queen Galfrey. It was the power and courage of Terendelev that held back the hordes of Baelor Koramtsate in 4692. However, even the Silver Dragon was helpless when the demon lord Descari himself appeared in Canabris. She perished right before your eyes, protecting the city and its residents to her dying breath.
Don't talk like that! Canabres hasn't fallen. Not while it still has defenders like you and me.
Sweet words don't change the grim truth.
No, she's right. Thank you, Knight. Until we no longer have the strength to hold a weapon, until Iomedae abandons us, we will fight for Canabris.
Tell me about the Wardstone. Why is it so important?
The Wardstones are a gift of Iomedae. Created personally by her herald, a mighty angel, and a general of the celestial armies. The Wardstones keep the world wound from expanding. They stand along the border of the territory controlled by the demons, creating a barrier to keep them inside. The Canabris obelisk was the first to be placed. It is the key to the whole barrier. We cannot leave it in the hands of those monsters from the abyss.
Hand of the Inheritor, also called a herald. A herald is a deity's favorite servant who acts as a messenger and emissary throughout the planes. While not necessarily the most powerful of a deity's servants, heralds embody fundamental elements of a god's faith and philosophies, and thus prove particularly suited to interaction with mortal worshippers. Iomedae's herald, the Hand of the Inheritor, is a warrior angel, always ready to answer Iomedae's call whenever she must directly intervene on Golarion. With his angelic speed and might, he leads to the charge when the Inheritor's celestial armies must go to war. A veteran of countless sorties into the abyss, the Hand fights with a song of battle on his lips, an unbreakable courage in his heart. When he is not needed on Golarion, he escorts noble souls through the astral plane to Pharasma's court, patrols the borders of Iomedae's realm in search of abominations from the abyss, duels devils on neutral ground to better learn their tactics, and watches over youth, his patron is marked for greatness. How did the Warpstone end up in the Grey Garrison?
The demons have long laid siege to Canabris, but this time, their lord Descari appeared in the flesh. He ripped the Wardstone from the ground and hurled it halfway across the city to here. I thought the stone was destroyed, but it seems all is not lost, yet. Descari has gone, but the Wardstone is surrounded by a horde of those creatures. What are they going to do to it? Nothing good, that's for certain.
Lord Descari, larger than an elephant, this towering insectile nightmare wields a scythe made of bone. His wings are swarms of biting flies, and his inhuman eyes glitter with cruel intelligence. Descari, demon lord of chasms, infestations and locusts, is believed by many scholars to be the usher of the apocalypse. He carved his realm from the raw matter of the abyss using the great scythe. Is it scythe? Rift carver, a weapon he crafted from the remains of the strange creature his father, Pazuzu, mated with tens of thousands of years ago. Descari and his cult long plagued the northern nation of Sarkoris, where his cultists were eventually driven into the lake of mists and veils by Arodin. Yet, upon Arodin's death, Descari's influence on Golarion ripened and burst, transforming Sarkoris into the demon-haunted world wound.
But how did he do that? He's a demon! The Wardstone should have burned his filthy hide!
It should have. But what happened, happened. We don't know why.
Let's not waste any more time. To battle.
That's the spirit! You, take a Navier to the rear. The rest of you with me.
That stupid locust.
You hear labored breathing interspersed with disgruntled muttering. Horgus is holding his rapier hilt in a white-knuckled grip. A bead of sweat trickles down from his temple.
Lord Horgus Gwyrm, forgive me. I did not realize we had civilians among us. My people will escort you somewhere safe. To the extent that anywhere in Canabras can be said to be safe right now.
That's right. Fighting spirit is the one thing that we've got plenty of. Actual fighting power, that's not so great. Fighting know-how, even worse. But fighting spirit, at least we're rich in that.
For Iomade! For the Queen! Kill the beast!
Yerabeth raises her blade, and the soldiers, inspired by her cry, rush into battle with renewed vigor. Queen Galfrey is the absolute monarch of the Crusader state of Mendev and leader of the Mendevian Crusades. While today, the name of the Crusader Queen is known throughout the Inner Sea region, it's easy to forget that Galfrey did not start her rule of Mendev as a paladin of Iomide, but rather of Arodin. When the world wound opened and forever changed Mendev, Galfrey was still an untested young ruler who was forced to deal with the death of a god. What? While simultaneously rallying her nation against the abyssal threat to the west. She rose to the challenge, however, and her leadership was instrumental over the next several years, not only in protecting Mendev from demonic invasions, but also in holding the border against the World Wound. When the Church of Iomide organized the First Crusade, it joined forces with Mendev to push back the demon armies. During these battles, Galfrey time and time again distinguished herself with a keen grasp of tactics and a skill at leadership. But this inspiration went both ways. At the Church of Iomide, Galfrey found something to replace the lost faith. By the time the First Crusade ended, with the apparent defeat of the demon armies, Galfrey had converted and become a worshipper of Iomide, and had completely retrained herself as one of the Inheritor's most devout paladins. Eager to retain such a valuable leader at the head of the Crusades, the Church of Iomide twice purchased and presented to the Queen the rare and expensive Sun Orchid elixir, which extends mortal life beyond its usual span. Oh, that is quite interesting.
We march ahead. Our path.
The heartbeat quickens.
Do not hold back.
The inheritor, guide my blade.
Strike as one.
You won't survive me.
The light will take you.
Your character Camellia shots at enemies engaged in melee combat, which makes them miss a lot. It's harder to hit a target that is fighting in the melee. Ah, or should give the character precise shot feet. Okay. You can also focus your ranged attacks on enemies who are not engaged in melee. You have not completed your mission in the Grey Garrison yet. Ah, okay. And that will mark the end of our episode. Oh, wait. Okay. Sealed with magic. That will mark the end of our episode.